I'm Keisha.
And I'm Tiana E. Chapin, and this is Raw Talk Media, where there's
no boundaries,
no filters,
just real talk.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our episode today. When keeping it real goes wrong, the fine lines between honesty and hate.
Is there a difference between being real and being reckless? Let's break down counterculture, freedom of speech, and when the truth crosses the line.
So, when I think about this topic, I really think about, I feel like we as a culture, we call it honesty. But I feel like the delivery is a fine line. Mm-hmm. Like, I think I feel like that's where we go wrong. Because it's like the wrong timing, Actually, it's kind of crazy because I was just talking to a friend about this the other day. Today. I had a whole situation with my child. And I mean, yeah, like, there was this kid bullying my daughter, and like I just kind of saw it, and I zoom over there, and I'm like, "Hey, don't be putting your hands on my child," you know. And I mean, I was upset. So the delivery of what I did was up high. It was
intense.
It was intense, and it could have been better. However, I meant what I said. And I don't take that. I meant what I said, and I don't take it back. But I think like I could have delivered it better.
Yeah, and also, I mean, what do you think about? I don't know, like in the workplace, I feel like, when we talk with our hands, or if we're a little too, I think for some people they're just like, oh well, they're aggressive or they're too much. I just feel like sometimes also it's how people take in like how we are as a people. And honestly, you can't even go into HR and be like, hey, this is how I talk to my family. Like it doesn't translate. So sometimes we also have to
we are code switching.
Are we code switching like all the time? Why is it fair that we as a people have to code switch so often to be able to be
our authentic selves?
Yeah, our true authentic selves. Yes, perfect.
But okay. Yeah, don't hate me. But I think like when we are in those environments, white spaces, I'm gonna call them white spaces, like you do have to switch it up. Yeah. And it sucks. It absolutely sucks. But I think that's not only just in white spaces in general. I think that's in our culture because we are a capitalized culture. And if we want to fit in and join society, that's the whole reason why we go to school, because they were conforming us to this certain like idealistic that they want us to be, and we have to portray that. But I think there's a time and place for everything. Yeah. And I mean, do I want to say that's how I want to be on a regular basis? Hell no, absolutely not, absolutely not. But I see the value and the responses that you get when you're in those spaces, and when your delivery is when it's well received and it's toned down. And I mean, it's not ideal. However, I mean, this is actually a very perfect example. Yesterday, we all saw it when the president of the United States had the Oval Office. Mm-hmm. That's the first time that actually an Oval Office was really like, I mean, not the first time. I think it's like in a long time that it was filmed. Mm-hmm. And and he got in a heated conversation and was basically saying, let me scratch that. He was definitely being a man-child and being a bully.
Right. For sure being a bully.
Definitely being a man-child and being a bully to the president. I mean, what's the name? Oh, my God. Why can't I look at
Pravinsky.
Yes. He was definitely being a bully. And however, don't come after me. I understand that he was saying that we're not giving you guys no more money for it. Yes, it's been 3 years. And he was like, we're not giving you more money. But how he said it was mainly like that they were the cause of Russia invading them and like basically taking over their homeland when we all have a trade treaty for each other. I feel like the delivery was wrong. It was absolutely, that's what we're talking about. Like when honesty goes wrong. I mean, yeah, he can say like, hey, we're not giving you no more money because we're trying to revamp our society and move on. But I think like that was not the case. He was just definitely being a bully and just, I'm gonna give you to this. So I think that like really shows that honesty was a fine line, and it was actually a hateful situation.
Yeah. I think that Trump has been probably the most honest to a fault kind of guy this whole entire.
Really?
No, I feel like he's so honest that like we see it, but like for like the vast majority, a lot of people are just like, oh no, that's cool, that's cool, and we're getting used to this like very
Gaslighting
indecent
behavior.
like behavior that should not be tolerated and has not been tolerated in the past. Like we're seeing a lot of things that he's doing, the way that he campaigns, the way that he sells lies to us and turns around and does a whole nother thing. Like it's just so weird that we are just all like, well, not all of us. Clearly there's some of us that are just like, we're woke. We understand what's going on.
No, we're just quiet. Like I honestly say, like I'm part of the 92%ers and I'm just like,
yeah,
you voted for it. This is like, my biggest thing about this is actually how people are like shocked about it. Like, and no, it's not. Like, it's not shocking when you pit a felon and a person who is a man child and in a position to take care of a country when he has a business mindset and not a diplomatic mindset or a leadership mindset. Yeah. And he's a billionaire, but you're serving a community. Like he's a 1%er. And we're the 30%, whatever people, the middle class, like people, and not even the other people underneath, like even below working class. And you expect him to do right by you.
Yeah, right.
No, that's not what he's doing right by the millions. He's doing everything he wants to do for the 1%, which he identifies with. Yeah. So to me, I'm just kind of like, when I look on Twitter or look on TikTok and I see like, I can't believe he did this. I'm just like, hey. Yeah. How could you be surprised? He's a millionaire felon that we pardon, which is
historical, yeah.
It's not even heard of that a felon is the president of the United States. We are a joke society. So I feel like there is a fine line between honesty. There is a fine line. I mean, like because not necessarily to honesty. I think a lot of people get confused with honesty and just being hateful.
Yeah.
And just being absolutely hateful because that's a hateful moment.
Yeah, pushing on what their own thoughts and values are and then making everybody else believe that that's the only way that they can move forward and conduct themselves is in their one idea of how life should be lived. But nobody has the one answer. And that's that, the mindset that keeps tearing us down is that everybody has to be right and everybody has to be seen. And just to mention being seen, like also the cancel culture, like people are presenting themselves and their lives. They're like, yeah, I'm going to show my life and I'm going to let you step in. I'm going to be transparent. And then the moment that you do something wrong that doesn't align with what everybody else believes or thinks, then you can immediately lose all of your sponsors, all of your, money and revenue that you have set up because somebody thought, oh no, I'm going to come for you about this tweet about 10 years ago that you made.
I know, but I think that's the game.
It really is. It really is.
It's the game. I mean, you got to understand when you open yourself to a platform where people can type their little fingers at a comment of you, it's easy for someone to be like, someone would never look you in the dead face and be like, I hate you. They'll be like, oh, you're great. But they'll go on their phone and they will type that because it's easy to push that button because you're not human to them. So they're able to be vocal and not really see consequences. So we got to understand that, like, that's the game. That's the gamble.
I believe in the cancel culture. I love that we're canceling Snoop Dogg.
Oh, cancel!
I love that we're canceling Nelly.
Cancel!
And he only got $20 tickets and he still ain't going.
Oh my God. Okay, like literally, it kind of warmed my heart when I watched that video of his concert and there was nobody there and people were showing around and I loved it because he really sat on that platform and talk about like, no other president ever did this for me. I was like,
And then started putting it on, like, I believe Kamala and what she was doing with the prison reform and, like, making sure people were going into prison and all that. Like, why are you switching the narrative. We're asking you, why are you supporting this man that is making bad choices and is turning the American people against each other and being, discriminative? Like, why are you doing this?
He was a sellout. I love that cancel culture. That's why I was like, I'm for the cancel culture. Yeah. I'm for the freedom of speech. I'm for the freedom of speech because I personally think that we are moving in a time, but I don't think other people realize it, but we're moving in a time where we're not going to have that.
Ooh, but when does freedom of speech and cancel culture butt heads? Because I love stand-up comedy. I love stand-up comedy, but so many of our comedians are being censored and muzzled. Because remember when Kevin Hart was gonna be the host of I don't know what it was. He wanted to do it his whole life. Either it was the Grammys, Oscars, and they found a tweet from a long time ago where he said he wouldn't want his son to be gay. And they were like, you need to apologize. He refused to apologize. And then they were like, fine, you're not doing it. And then he decided to apologize. And they're like, no, you're not doing it. So it's just like, when do we get to just express what we feel and what we think? So what? He said he doesn't want his child to grow up.
Okay, you're not going to like me for this one, but I disagree with you. When it comes to, I actually do not like comedy, really. Because I personally think that it comes from a time that's how you really truly feel about them. And when I see most comedians, they do talk about other races and they do these stereotypes. And I honestly think that they believe that and they want it to make it humorous and be like, oh, people are so sensitive. Nah, that's them being racist. Yeah, that's them. That's their true feelings. That's why they're saying it. That's why, honestly, I don't really like it. I don't, and I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's. I never go to a comedy show. I never see and when I did go to a comedy show, I was kind of like, I went on. I think I was years ago, and I was like, yeah, why am I here? It's not funny. Even when I see people, funny. I know you do.
I follow this one comedian. I do not know his name, but he is either Pakistani or Indian. I know you're talking about. And he can go through a crowd and basically assess what he thinks your name is going to be, what career you're going to be, and he gets it right a good percentage of the time. And I think I don't know if that's crossing the line of it being okay, borderline, now you are stereotyping, now you are categorizing.
Remember when Seinfeld went on there and he was talking about Black people and he was saying the N-word and he thought it was the most funniest thing ever. But I'm just saying, that I know you guys are saying with the fine line, but that's what people really think about. That's why comedians who are successful are talking about what they know because that's what they believe in. Yeah. And that's why it's funny. I mean, not saying that I don't think any movie's funny. I just don't I'm my personal opinion. I'm just not really into it. Yeah. Do I watch Cat Williams? Yeah, I do. And I do. But I also see some of the stuff that they say is funny, but I think when you are crossing over, when you're trying to make fun of another culture, that's when I'm just man, no, that makes sense. I'm not feeling it.
Well, this was such a great topic to kind of start that conversation on where we're going with politics, where we're going with social media, comedy. We touched on a lot of things.
And also too, we will be doing a segment about racism. And I think it's a really good one because we are living in a time where are we moving backwards? Are we moving forwards? Are we progressing or we're digressing? So I thought it would be a really good topic. This is kind of the warmer upper for it. So thank you so much for listening. And when it's keeping it real, going wrong, the fine lines between honesty and hatred episode, follow us on Instagram, TikTok to stay updated with future episodes. And don't forget to check out our full video on YouTube podcast at Raw Talk Media Podcast. And
this is Raw Talk Media, where there are
no boundaries,
no filters, just real talk.
Bye.